in the mainstream media. The executive privilege being claimed by Obama. This is total Nixonian type activity. That is all coming up. We've got Patrick Henningsen's article, Obama hides behind executive privilege and damage control over Fast and Furious, breaking at Infowars.com right now. So he's acting like a dictator more and more. Nixon didn't get away with it and committed far less crimes than Obama. And I'm no Nixon fan. Going back to Dr. Peter Glidden here with us today, host of Fire MD Radio here on Genesis weekdays. Find out more at GCNlive.com. Let's go to Kevin in Illinois. Kevin, thanks for holding. You're on the air with our guest.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm calling in because, I was sitting here listening to what he was saying about, the MDs and whatnot. And, I sort of find that crazy how, they're able to get away with that shit. But at the same time, I started thinking back to my past and how, it is relevant how things are happening out there. I've been on medicine practically my whole life due to ADHD and, short attention span and whatnot and being hyper and whatnot. But, they put me on Dexedrine, Depakote, Prozac, and, had my family signing waivers saying that if something happened to me or if I happened to immediately get ill, that they want to be held responsible.
That's a good point, caller. I appreciate your points on that. We got to move quick here. But, yeah, these drugs aren't even approved for children, but they give them to millions of them, and they have you sign waivers. And the children are drinking red dye, high fructose corn syrup, GMO, watching television all day, bouncing off the walls. And there's never a discussion of nutrition. Let's put them on amphetamine to burn their brains out because, speed burns you out after a while. And let's put them on psychotropics and then watch suicide explode. I mean, this is sick what they're doing, doctor.
Yeah, and I'm the quack, right? My profession is the quack. As God is my witness, the only people selling snake oil in this country have MD after their name.
And because it's Rockefeller medicine to carry out eugenics, they've got a license to kill.
Yeah, they do. 780,000 people a year killed by MD-directed treatments. And when we get sick, what do? We still go to the MDs because we don't know there's an alternative. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to survive on planet Earth, you got to find water and purify it. You got to live in houses, heat them and cool them. You got to eliminate waste. Well, there's one more thing you need to do. You need to secure all 90 essential nutrients and swallow them every day. If you do not do this, it is only a matter of time until something breaks.
Folks used to make fun. Absolutely, doctor, go ahead.
One Alex pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month will change your life because it will be the first time your body has had all of the nutrients your body needs, and that is a game changer. One Alex pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. Try it. You do not know what you're missing.
Let's jam in. Barbara in Virginia, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, hi, Alex, Dr. Glidden. My husband and I have been on the Alex Pack for 10 days, and oh my goodness, it's absolutely tremendous. Our symptoms are going away. I've been on different supplements for 40 years, and I've never tried anything that makes me feel good. This is absolutely great. My question, though, specifically is, my husband's been on also antidepressants and anxiety for 40 years. And what a product do you have, if you have one, that we can specifically take for that? And is it possible to get him off of these medicines?
I'll tell you what, ma'am, I want to come back from break and have this answered then. Stay there. This is important, but I'm going to say this. I'm not going to get into the whole MD world and tell me what they should do if they're taking serotonin reuptake inhibitors. But I know what medical doctors have said here. You better go off them very slowly if you do, because they will give you a serious chemical imbalance. And I know there's St. John's wort and so many other things that in double-blind studies have done better than Prozac. Look those up for yourself. I'm not going to give you advice, but we'll see what Dr. Glidden says. Stay there. Barbara, straight ahead. We'll be back. All right, we've got joining us here in about 25 minutes, Mark Moreno from Rio de Janeiro at the Earth Summit World Government meeting with big breaking news. I got a bunch of other news I want to hit here in just a moment. We're almost out of time with our guest here today, and there's so many points I want to go over with him. Barbara in Virginia, you're on the air with Dr. Peter Glidden. You had just talked about your husband on antidepressants for decades, and if there was anything natural that could replace that. And again, we can't give you medical advice here, at least I can't over the air. I know what medical doctors have said about Prozac. You better go off drugs like that very slowly or it can cause a serious problem. They're very toxic. But I know there's a lot of herbs and things that I've seen in mainstream news, like St. John's worts and other things that did much better in double-blind studies than Prozac and things like that. So let's go back to Doc to answer her question and then let Barbara from Virginia have a follow-up comment. Go ahead.
All right, very good. So from our point of view, the leading cause of anxiety is not enough calcium. It's a calcium deficiency. It's not a Prozac deficiency. It's a calcium deficiency. So if you have anxiety or panic attacks, then the first thing to think about is there's not enough calcium in the body. But really what we do, if you have a problem with your bones, we give you the 90 essential nutrients plus extra bone support. If you have a problem with your liver, we give you the 90 essential nutrients plus extra liver support. It's not rocket science. So in this case, we give you the 90 essential nutrients plus extra stuff for your brain and central nervous system. So the best product that I've seen for that is something called Renew IQ. And I would double down on the calcium dose for 2 months. So take the Alex Pack, 1 extra bottle of calcium, and the Renew IQ. And if you, in addition to that, become gluten-free, it's really important that you stop eating wheat, barley, rye, and oats. This whole program will work much better and much faster. And when you do this program for 60 days, then you can go to a pharmacist and have the pharmacist to give you a reduction schedule for your prescription medicines. Start to withdraw with a professional supervision and see how you feel. You do not have depression because you have a bad gene.
Hey, I saw a mainstream article last week I meant to cover where even mainline MDs were having to admit that a lot of people they say are schizophrenic or people that they say have mental illnesses or depressed, they were admitting that it was mercury poisoning in some cases or Lyme's disease. I was reading in some states they estimate up to half the population has a Lyme's infection, and when they go into the MDs, they send them to a psychiatrist, and they've got people in the funny farm with Lyme's disease. They find out, put them on antibiotics, and they're not schizophrenic anymore. I saw that last week.
Well, you know where Lyme disease came from? First case of Lyme disease was in 1975 in Lyme, Connecticut. You know what's 10 miles away from Lyme, Connecticut across the Atlantic Ocean? Plum Island, baby.
Well, you know, I was looking into Lyme's disease. It's a
government facility. Yeah.
And you know why I was looking into it? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, who?
No, I mean, I'll tell you why I'm looking into it.
Plum Island. Yeah, I've treated more cases of Lyme disease than any other naturopath in history. I had a private practice in Cape Cod, Massachusetts for 12 years. It's like the second highest density of Lyme disease on the planet. On Plum Island, in the government research facility, they had a separate wing for tick-borne diseases. And then all of a sudden, in 1975, we have Lyme disease. Where the heck did it come from? Yeah, I tell you where it came from. It came from Plum Island. It was a government-created
Well, wasn't it deer swimming across? I mean, just a mile or so to the mainland?
Well, yeah, that's how they got out, because one of the ways that the Lyme parasite persists is it lives in a tick that feeds off of the blood of the deer, and then the microorganism, the spirochete, goes into the blood of the deer, and then it's a whole life cycle. But yeah, that's how it got away. Yeah, but all of a sudden in 1975, there's a tick-borne disease that never occurred before. Lyme disease is in the same category of illness as syphilis is. Syphilis has been around forever. And it's the same microorganism that caused it, but Lyme disease only since 1975. Don't you think that's...
Let me ask you a question. What do you do naturally? Because the MDs won't even tell you if you have Lyme disease most of the time. They want to put you on drugs. They want to keep you sick. I mean, if you do get Lyme's disease, what's the healthy way to deal with it?
Well, you want to take the Healthy Alex Pack, because everybody needs the 90 essential nutrients. And this is a holistic phenomenon, folks. You need to have everything, all the pieces need to be in place. So
you're saying the general public is debilitated, that's why things like this are able to affect them?
Everybody is undernutrified. Everybody is nutritionally deficient. Every single solitary person on the planet is eating the wrong food most of the time and is completely nutritionally deficient. When you clean your diet up and take the proper supplementation, most of your health concerns.
All right, we've got it at InfoWarsTeam.com. I'll have to look into that. Ma'am, does that answer your question about your husband and whatever prescription drugs he's taking for?
That's great. That's going to do it. I'm going to, and as I could tell everyone, just to go try the Alex Pack, you would be amazed at the results. It is, I can't believe what's happening. Finally feeling good.
All right, thank you so much. And again, that's just what we're calling it at InfoWarsTeam.com, that Dr. Wallach says is the most important group of vitamins and minerals to take. We're just calling that particular pack the Alex Pack to explain that. I want to go to a bunch of other calls here. I could have you on all day. I've got to get to another guest and all this news. But it makes my head spin here to think about, here's an example. My dad growing up in East Texas, we have a ranch out there, and there's a large black community out there. And you know, the family's friends with all these black families that have been out there forever. And there's all these old black women that routinely live to be 85, 90, 100, 105 years old. And, of course, the old-time white folks did this too. But people make fun of them locally, going and digging out the clay, certain clays, and then taking it home and eating it. And the old black women swear that you need that clay to be healthy. They don't even, you know, in the wives' tales, even know what minerals were at that time. But that's what the old-timers would do. They would grind bone meal into all the bread that has the minerals in it. I mean, there's an example right there of what the old-timers knew. And here are these black women living to be 100 years old routinely, but then black folks in the cities today are dying at what, average age of about 65?
Yeah, and the MDs say it's genetic, and it's not. And that makes you, Alex Jones, the smartest man in class, because you are 100% spot on. There's only one place that minerals are found. It's in the soil. But minerals are not evenly spread out in the soil. So unless you are collecting minerals from some source like clay or, you know, the longevity supplements and swallowing them, you have a mineral deficiency. And it is just a matter of time until something breaks. And one of the keys to long life is mineralization of the human body.
So, I mean, I would imagine those black women eating clay, that probably went all the way back thousands of years to Africa.
Yeah, I mean, it's the body knows what the body knows, especially when you get out of the way. And I was given a lecture, I think, in Utah, a number of years ago, and I was talking about the whole mineral thing, and a woman sprang up in the back row. She raised her hand, and I normally don't take questions, but she was going crazy. And I said, "What?" And she said, "I have to tell you this, Dr. Glidden. I've never told anybody else this. When I was pregnant, I used to sneak out of my house in the middle of the night and go to this one piece of property that we had and eat the dirt. And my baby was healthy." And I said, "Well, yeah, your body was telling you what you needed to do."
No, but a lot of women have that phenomenon of going out and their olfactory nerve picks it up and eating dirt. I mean, that's very common.
Yeah, and the reason that we're inclined to do this is because there's stuff in the dirt that the body needs because we are so unbelievably undernutrified.
Well, birds eat dirt.
And it is the obesity, weight gain, is not a disease of excess. Obesity is a deficiency disease. Obesity is a deficiency disease. When your body runs out of the stuff that it needs, the 90 essential nutrients, it knows that it is running on fumes, and it is afraid because it knows your heart's going to go. It knows your liver's going to go. It knows your brain's going to go. So it forces you to eat in the desperate attempt to fill the nutrient tank up. But the food that you're eating doesn't have the nutrients in it that you need. And so you go to Olive Garden, you eat 2,000 calories, and 2 hours later you're hungry again. And then your MD tells you your stomach's too big, or you're lazy, or you don't exercise enough. And it's wrong. The only reason we gain weight is we eat too many calories, and the only reason we eat too many calories is because we are running.
Amazing. Let's jam in another call here. This is amazing info. Riley in Detroit, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing, Alex?
Good. Go ahead.
Hey, I had a question for Dr. Glidden. I've used the plant-derived minerals for a while now, and I noticed on the back there's some trace elements of like lead and arsenic. I was wondering if you could touch on that and just to make sure it's safe. And really, I didn't understand what that was.
Okay, good. Well, we do a lot of myth-busting here in this business, and I spend a lot of time myth-busting what conventional MDs do, but there are a lot of myths in holistic medicine as well. Lead is necessary for DNA synthesis. You need it. arsenic is necessary to keep your immune system healthy, and actually one of the leading, they don't do it in that many hospitals anymore because, it's not a conventional